South African wines often tread the line between the old and the new, balancing time-honed traditions with new ideals and approaches to wine. And Zonnebloem is a fantastic example of this. The farm itself dates back to the 17th century and is soaked in the essence of Stellenbosch. It's a beloved and pivoted brand in the market. It also allows wine novices not so familiar with wines to be able to enjoy, but it's also for serious connoisseurs. Our wines are sourced from different regions in Stellenbosch, different growing temperatures, different altitudes, and that gives us complexity in our grapes. Even if we are doing Cabernet Sauvignon, it's sourced from 4 different locations, and that gives us a more complex and integrated wine. Zonnebloem encapsulates time-honed traditions, classic craftsmanships, but also employs new ideals to winemaking techniques. And that makes it such an approachable and well-loved brand even till today. So here we have the Zonnebloem 2015 Pinotage. Pinotage is an early ripening grape, so the grapes were picked around about mid-Feb. It's the slopes where the grapes are grown on, all in Stellenbosch, are mostly southwest facing, which means they don't get direct sunlight. They are grown on a cooler climate, which enhances slower ripening and more concentration of the fruit. Pinotage, although this is a full-bodied wine, is for me one of the most approachable red wines that you can get. An interesting saying that I once read about Pinotage says that Pinotage is made of lions' hearts and women's tongues. And after consuming an efficient amount, one feels like you can talk forever and fight the devil. So we're going to have a little taste here. So what I've learned in my travels to Burgundy is our initial reaction when we get a glass of wine is to swirl it. But how would you feel if you were trapped in a bottle for 5 years? You'd want some air, right? But I'd also want to smell what the wine was like before I bring some air into it. So what I would usually do is when the wine is poured, I would smell, and then I would bring some air into the wine to sort of uplift and bring out all the flavors. And you'll often see that the before nose and the after nose are 2 completely different things, and that's really interesting for me. So on the nose, I pick up cherries, blackcurrant, and pencil shavings. That follows through onto the palate. It's a full-bodied wine bursting with a lot of flavor and also has an excellent finish. It's a great, approachable wine and can be enjoyed with a variety of different dishes, but also quite enjoyable on its own.
Thank you for the insight. We specially selected this wine from the Vinatec Wine Bank, our dedicated maturation cell in Stellenbosch, where all our wines are matured under optimal conditions.